Evacuations dropped for a wildfire burning near Leavenworth tonight, the latest numbers.
Hot and sunny this weekend with increasing winds tomorrow afternoon.
Plus, things are abuzz tonight in Whatcom County after a truck crash set millions of bees on the loose. Thanks for wrapping up your Friday night here with us on KREM 2 News Tonight. I'm Cody Proctor. Well, as our Friday starts winding down, we're expecting the heat to stick around as we head into the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo is starting us off tonight with a first look at what could be a very warm forecast.
Well, after an absolutely gorgeous end to the work week, seriously, not much to complain about. We have a beautiful weekend in store, but it comes with a little bit of a catch. The first being the temperatures. Tomorrow, we're going to be some 10 to 15 degrees warmer than where we were today. 87 degrees here in Spokane, 86 over in Coeur d'Alene, and near 90 degrees out in central Washington. That's number one. Number two is going to be the wind. We're going to watch wind pick up later in the day, mainly on the lee side of the Cascades, and then in Kittitas County with all that wind funneling out of the mountains. Similar story down in the Lewis and Clark Valley. We'll see gusts near 50 miles per hour in those locations. Kittitas County could see them upwards of 60 miles per hour, but that's not until tomorrow evening. The storm itself still sitting off the coast. Kind of impressive looking at it, but here it is and our frontal boundary, and as that moves to the east, we will then get the wind. Most of that moisture just doesn't even make it through. The one thing we will see is a little bit of moisture in the atmosphere, the kind you can't see. Our relative humidity will be high enough that we don't have any concerns of red flag warnings or critical fire danger. It's just an uptick in the threat before things start cooling down starting Sunday.
Jeremy, thanks so much. And new within the last few hours, fire officials say all evacuations were dropped for the Second Creek fire burning near Leavenworth. Rain helped firefighters slow down that fire earlier this week. The Washington State Department of Natural Resources says the fires burned about 80 acres as of tonight. According to DNR, crews have it at about 38% contained at this hour. Firefighters say this is only the beginning of what could be a very busy wildfire season. Also new tonight, 3 lawmakers from the Northwest went inside the ICE processing center in Tacoma today to inspect the conditions inside. Congresswomen Pramila Jayapal and Emily Randall from Washington and Maxine Dexter from Oregon arrived expecting to get inside. There's a statute allowing these visits without prior authorization. After getting some pushback from the staff, they were able to make it in. They were inside for about 2 hours today. Afterwards, the Congresswoman talked about a green card holder being held inside after he was detained at SeaTac Airport.
If this can happen to Maximo, who has permanent legal status, it can happen to any of us.
Yeah.
Due process has been turned on its head, and we are using American dollars to disrupt and undermine our justice system, and it should be something that every single one of us is absolutely horrified by and willing to stand up against.
The man's family says he has 2 non-violent convictions from over 20 years ago that have been resolved. Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security put hundreds of cities and counties across the country on notice today. They're violating federal immigration law, including right here in eastern Washington. KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy dove into the notice tonight.
Yeah, Mark, there are several Washington cities on the western side listed, and all but 4 counties in the state on this list. Spokane County, one of those considered by DHS to be obstructing enforcement of immigration law. KREM 2 News did reach out to Spokane County, and we're told the Spokane County has not passed any ordinance or resolution declaring itself a sanctuary jurisdiction. The county remains in compliance with both federal and state law concerning immigration enforcement. Now, only 4 Washington counties did not make the list. That includes Douglas, Klickitat, Adams, and Yakima counties, though the city of Yakima is included. Washington has its own sanctuary law, the Keep Washington Working Act. It restricts how much local law enforcement agencies can aid federal immigration enforcement. For instance, city or county officers cannot interview or detain suspected undocumented immigrants. County jails in Washington can't be used for immigration detention. Washington State is suing Adams County for violating this law. Attorney General Nick Brown says deputies illegally held people based solely on immigration status. And shortly after President Trump's re-election, Klickitat County Sheriff Bob Songer posted a message on Facebook saying the U.S. was being, quote, absolutely invaded by illegal immigrants. Here's his December message to Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
I want to send a message to the ICE. If you need any help at all, put me on speed dial. We will be there to help you. We will not protect criminals, illegal criminals that are in our country, the drug dealers, the human trafficking.
Now, at this point, it is unclear why Douglas and Yakima counties didn't make the list. DHS said sanctuary jurisdictions were determined by compliance with federal law enforcement if they restrict information to ICE and if they have legal protection for, quote, illegal aliens. Now, the list was put together under an April executive order from President Trump, the same order that says jurisdictions on the list may lose federal grants or contracts for not complying. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Shannon, thank you so much. And time right now for your Night Beat for a quick look at today's top stories. Heartbreaking news for the Northport community tonight. According to the Northport Mustangs Athletics Facebook page, Superintendent Don Bearbault passed away Monday. He was also the head coach for the baseball team, according to the WIAA. The post goes on to say he died peacefully, surrounded by his family. A Spokane dermatologist indicted by a federal grand jury for misusing more than $1 million in COVID money has been cleared of all charges. Dr. William Phil Werschler's lawyers say the case started because the company's bookkeeper embezzling more than $1 million. She pleaded guilty to felony wire fraud and sentenced to 2 years in prison. The doctor maintained his innocence throughout the case. His lawyers say the outright dismissal of the case is extraordinarily rare. And a major shift at Washington State University today. The school announced they're eliminating the Pullman Chancellor position. WSU's new president, Elizabeth Cantwell, says the moves to make the university more efficient. Now, the change moves leadership on the flagship Pullman campus from the chancellor to the president. And that was your Night Beat tonight. For more on any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. And still to come on KREM 2 News tonight, as downtown Spokane struggles to keep businesses open, the tide could turn thanks to a new plan. But first, things were buzzing across the Cascade Mountains in Whatcom County after a truck crash sent millions of bees loose. More on the details up next.